Why are you shaking? Are you nervous?
Joe, I'm always nervous for these. You know, every podcast is an opportunity to hang out with you, and that makes me nervous.
Welcome back, everybody, to episode. We've had a week off.
We do apologise.
Yeah.
I think so.
Well, do we though? Because I don't think anyone really noticed that we were gone.
No, but we had such a great streak running.
We really did,
and
it felt like old times.
Yeah, it was really good, and then what was that? Our 7th episode that we've messed up?
I'm sure we got to episode 8. Did we?
Anyway, I wanted to do it. It was Joe who decided we should not do it.
Did I? Was it me?
Yeah, I said, look, Joe.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I know what happened. I said I didn't have time to edit it, and Joe doesn't want to set a precedent where he starts editing these.
I think as soon as I edit one, that'll be it. Well, I do edit them because I watch back your bit and take the bits out that we can't put in.
Yeah, you do the censorship.
I do the censorship.
I do the hour or sorry, not hour. It takes 7 hours. No, it's about an hour and a half.
Does it to edit these?
Well, the way I do it is I click the L button on Final Cut. Anyone who knows how to edit, if you click the L button, it speeds up, and I kind of watch it on double speed.
Yeah, right.
And so I think I can get through one in an hour if it's really easy. But then sometimes the audio's messed up. Do
you find it boring to edit? Like, especially for you, because you like editing straight away after we recorded, but I'm like, I can think of nothing worse than hearing my own voice. Your voice not so bad, but my own voice.
Yeah, you know what? We have a guest in the next podcast.
How do you know?
Because I'm already editing that one, which we filmed before this one. And funny enough, I'm actually really enjoying it.
Really?
And I think maybe it's because it's having someone other than you in it. That's making it good.
Maybe switch me out. Maybe I'll take a hiatus.
It's just something new, you know. Like whereas I think on the first time we did the podcast, it was really fun, but on the 7th one, just like our viewers,
just like it starts sounding the same.
I was struggling to. No, it is hard when you do it straight away. But you know what? It's nice to get back into it.
Do you think that? Sorry, I've got an itchy nose, but I don't want to itch it with my hand.
I can give it a nudge.
No, because I've got a new skin routine, and
really?
I can't be touching my face. Okay. Apparently. I've just. I don't know if you can tell from watching this, but I've had a haircut. So have you actually?
Yep.
This is probably the best we've looked.
I hope so. I never know until I stick it in the editing machine.
I can't see.
It's too small
there's
of a
just two
camera.
blurs. But I think this is the best. Look, we've both got. Oh no, you haven't got socks on. I've got socks on. Trousers. You know,
we're wearing trousers.
Fresh. But anyway, welcome back to another episode of the podcast. It's a Joe week this week. Although I feel like Casper has had more of a fun week than I've had. He's been once again jet setting around the world. But first topic, actually, let's talk about your holiday.
Thank you.
Let's do it. Let's talk about it.
I don't want to push it on you guys.
Only because my notes for the week they're not great. But there's a few good talking points that I want to bring up. Oh, no, wait.
Yeah.
I did go on holiday.
Good. Make it sound exciting, because when I'm editing these, I'm like, oh, shit. Everyone's going to click off at this point. And that was one of those points.
I mean, we always think, what is the we need to sort of, when we're going through, think that's part of the title as well.
Yeah. Okay, think of something really cool.
Yeah, okay.
What did you do on holiday? And I'll tell you what I did on holiday.
I'm
already bored, Joe.
I went, well, my holiday's a bit different to yours. You went to, where'd you go?
Mexico.
Casper went to Mexico to this like beautiful real luxury what was it like a beautiful place.
So it's a place called Holbox, but it's spelled Holbox.
That sounds South African.
Yeah, no, it's kind of weird. It's a South African island in Mexico. No, it's just like a South African sounding island. It's 1 kilometer by like 40 kilometers. So does that make sense? It's almost like a tape measure.
It's like a thin bit of sand.
Yeah, and so I'll put a photo on screen, which makes my life really hard as the editor, but I'll put a photo on screen, and it was just beautiful. I mean, this place looked like the Maldives. The people are amazing. Mexico's a great country. It's actually doing really well. The only thing is it's a bit kind of cartel run in many regions. And
really?
I actually heard they have an election going on right now. Apparently like over 20 of their kind of election people, like MPs who are running, have been murdered by the cartel.
On this thin little strip of sand?
No, in the whole of Mexico.
Oh, I was going to say, how does that even happen? Surely they're like, we know who it is.
That thin strip of sand is actually, it felt very safe. There's safe areas, but I think on the whole, Mexico is up and I don't know, if you're Mexican and you're listening, let me know. I'm from South Africa. There's a lot of misinformation about how dangerous it is in South Africa. But apparently Mexico is kind of on the same level, but more political violence.
Everywhere just gets a bad rep, I feel like. Is there any places you've been to that don't have a bad rep?
I think in terms of what, I mean, if they're really safe, they've got bad weather. Except for Australia, but that's got really bad animals. Or insects.
Yeah, well, a bit of everything, yeah. And people, probably.
What, bad people?
Probably. I think there's bad people everywhere, isn't there?
Oh yeah, I thought you were calling out Australians.
No,
Diane's gonna freak out.
No, definitely not. Australians are great. Australians are great.
So where did you go?
So a bit different. I went to the Isle of Wight.
Okay.
Why are you laughing?
I mean, it's just not that exciting, is it?
We've been there together, which is what I wanted to talk about. Actually,
when did we go?
We went together on a holiday to the Isle of Wight.
My memory's so bad.
So I went last week to the Isle of Wight with my sister, Alfie.
Oh, was Ottilie there?
They were, yes. Ottilie and Novi were there, and my mum. We all went across to the Isle of Wight because me and my sister used to go there as kids with our family. We'd go there, stay in a caravan, and go to a place called Black Gang Chine.
I remember we went to Black Gang Chine together after we went to that festival.
Yes. Yeah, here we go. I love how I can see the cogs work in your brain. It's all slowly coming back. But yeah, me and Casper went to this festival called, was it called Festival? Or the Isle of Wight Festival?
It was Festival.
Had a wicked time. Ended up, this is a bit of a weird full circle moment. One of my biggest memories from that is getting very, very drunk at that festival and then ending up at Harrison Webb's parents' house or something on a quad bike. You weren't there. You weren't there.
Are you sure? No,
I think you
I've been to another island with a big house.
But I don't know why you weren't there. But it was me, Harrison Webb, Will Derbyshire.
And Joey Graceffa?
No. But was he there?
Just randomly said a YouTuber's name.
But it's us three driving around quad bikes around his garden.
Wow.
But really dangerous. Should not have done that. In hindsight, really bad. Don't ever get on a quad bike. Then we went back recently to go and experience
Gantam Chine.
Yes, Black Gang Chine.
Is it like Gangnam Style?
No, this was before Gangnam Style.
Wow.
It's actually the UK's oldest amusement park.
Do you actually enjoy it, or are you just like one of those nostalgia posters?
This is the thing. I've always been, me and my sister, I've always been very, very nostalgic about stuff from our childhood.
I don't have nostalgia.
No, but do you know what? I think as I'm getting older, I have nostalgia for games that I used to play as kids.
Yeah.
But then now, when I play these games, I'm like, they're just not good anymore. It's not the same. Nostalgia is the biggest bluff because you think it's going to make you feel these things, but you don't actually get what you think you're going to get from nostalgia in a way.
It's like when you have a boner and you don't come.
Weird analogy, but possibly.
Is it?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I need to really think about that.
Better than that one is, it's like when you need to sneeze and you don't sneeze.
Well, because you get the nostalgia hit, but it's
you're expecting your whole body to just be like, woo!
Yeah, and it doesn't last. It lasts for about a second, and then the reality of it is kind of not quite that. But you still will always go for that nostalgia hit in a way.
Did you guys go in for free or did you pay?
We actually paid. We paid.
But you are like the Gangnam Style or whatever it is. You are.
That's your word of the day, isn't it?
You are that's what you talk about. Surely you have a black card to get Gangnam.
No.
What's it? Black and Chine?
Black Gang Chine. This, I don't know if you find it the same, but and this actually brings me on to one of the points I want to talk about. It's on my list of what I learned this week. Some things
you just want to pay for.
Yeah. Well, one. This is a 200-year-old amusement. It's the oldest amusement park in the UK. It's got such a rich history.
We want to support it.
It's a big part of our childhood. We want to support it. But also, if something is gifted to you like that, you have to disclose.
Yeah.
So every bit of vlog footage we did, every Instagram post, every story you do, technically, you have to disclose that as ad gifted.
Oh, I love where this is going.
Ad gifted.
I love to talk about the ASA guidelines.
Did
you see my LinkedIn post?
No.
So how did you come up with this?
Because I read on a newsletter about
Grace Beverley,
what's going on with her and Tyler and stuff. Is this a good thing to talk about?
Oh yeah, I could talk about this all day.
Yeah, I've brought something to the table.
Should we call her up?
Let me just finish my Black Gang Chine thing. There's not a lot to finish on, but it was just.
I'm just gonna edit it out anyway.
But no, it's just the thing of I think sometimes, I don't know if it's the same with you, but a lot of the time, often not, I'd rather pay and not have to worry about putting ad gifted on my post.
I wish I could say that.
No, but for
But after the holiday I went on where every single hotel I stayed at with Amber was gifted.
Was it?
She's like, I think you have a problem, Casper, because it's my 30th birthday trip and you're like, you can't pay for a single night somewhere. Come on.
But you have been, you've notoriously always been the stingiest out of our group. But I respect that though.
Thank you.
You know, freebie's a freebie. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It may not last forever.
No, but you're right. Like, so technically, just so you all know what I'm talking about and what Joe's talking about, there's this thing called the ASA, which is the Advertising
Standards Agency.
And then there's a CMA, which is like,
Oh, is there?
do you know what that stands for?
No.
I can't remember what it stands for, but
Commercial?
it's probably something like that.
Commercial Standard Agency?
But basically, they are almost the lawmakers, and then the ASA is kind of like the enforcers. So the ASA don't actually come up with the rules. So when people get angry at the ASA, they're actually just...
They're like, hey guys, we don't make the rules.
And by enforcing, all they kind of do, again, I might get this wrong, but this is what I think it all does, and I've known a bit about this, is when they get complaints, they publicize it by putting it on their website, and then the media go on their websites and see who's been complained about and who's been found guilty or who's been found at wrong. So basically, Grace Beverly did a bunch of posts about a company that she owns. I don't know all the details, but I was just like, oh my gosh. But why can't you post about your company without using the hashtag ad? And apparently you can, but there has to be a percentage of the general public who know that is your company. And they were saying a bunch of people following Grace or a bunch of people who come across Grace's content might not know that it's hers. And I'm like...
But how do they know?
And how do you... Yeah, so for example, Richard Branson.
Yeah.
When he talks about Virgin, the ASA is not going to go after him because they're like, it's Richard Branson. We all know that. But I'm like, but Grace Beverly is another kind of generation. Yeah, you don't know who she is because, you know, you're not in this space. But most people kind of do. And there'll always be people who don't know who Richard Branson is either. Like, if you're like 10 years old, you might not know him and you come across a post. So I don't really understand how they actually decide whether or not you are big enough for you not to have to disclose something as an ad. And sorry, just to finish this rant, celebrities, and I know, look, I'm not saying we shouldn't disclose. I just think the rules need to be equal across everyone. And when you see the amount of celebrities doing brand partnerships, or even musicians bringing stuff into their like music videos,
they've got their ones they like. They've got their ones they know are going to make a headline, basically.
Exactly.
And if they did that to like let's just say for example, like Post Malone or Taylor Swift.
Oh, thanks. That was you're talking about that.
I think people would think, well, that's probably the least of her worries. I don't know. Like,
I just don't think I feel like they only care about influencers, quote unquote, or reality stars. I don't think I've seen them do stuff with actors once or twice, but I feel like musicians generally just no one really cares.
We are. Yeah.
You know, someone did a really good video about this. I'll link it below.
It's a grey area, isn't it?
His name's Tom. Don't get us wrong. Like, creators are in a very privileged position. They shouldn't be like scamming their audiences into buying stuff. But
I don't think that counts as... I wouldn't see that as... But maybe it's because I know that it's her brand.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm one of the percent that know it's her brand. Do you know what I mean?
Basically, but with TikTok, for example, like... TikToks go so beyond your audience sometimes.
Yeah.
But again, it's just like, at what stage, like, how can she, if she said ad, everyone's going to think she's just like sponsored by this company and they're not going to know she's the owner or the founder. And I think that there's something lost there. And then it goes on to like, at what stage do you become a creator? So for example, if you're just the CEO of, I don't know, Scrabble and you promote Scrabble.
I'd love to be the CEO of Scrabble.
Well, Mattel, I assume, makes it. Are you gonna have to every time you do a LinkedIn post disclaim you're the hashtag ad CEO?
But even if you were doing what if I decided to bring out my own merch, do merch again, like Joe Sugg merch?
If it says Joe Sugg on the merch, that the ASA would probably go, well, that's obvious. But if the merch was called couch merch,
but also we need to stress that the rules also the guidelines and the rules are constantly evolving and changing as well. So what was the rules last year may be different this year, and it's probably not down to them to let you know. So I think we're actually as MVE doing a thing where we're going to get someone from the ASA into our office.
Well, I'd love to speak to them
and do a talk with us and with our staff to just make sure that we're up to date. Because I think if you went and asked anyone out on the street, what do you think the rules are with this? I think you get different answers every time.
I think so. I think everyone tries to like stretch it. Honestly, you're probably meant to just say hashtag ad anytime you're given something or paid to do something or own something now that people might not know you own. Even if you have a stock, I feel like you probably have to disclose it. So like that's become the norm. And I kind of think that takes away a little bit from the content, because I think people then just go, oh, this is an ad. Like obviously some people are okay with ads, but lots of people might just not want to look at the content.
I think it depends also how loyal, like what your audience is like. Because I feel like if I did something like that, my audience would be like, oh,
yeah, okay. No, that's a good point.
They wouldn't. I think they'd still. I like to think they'd still still watch it because they think I'd do something cool with it or something like that. I don't know. Whereas you do get some. If I didn't know the creator, perhaps I might then be inclined to like on TikTok. If I scroll through TikTok and I see at the bottom, I start to get hooked in. Like, oh, what's this? And then I get 3 seconds in and I see the little TikTok shop thing. Boom, gone. Yeah. Because then I know that it's an ad.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So, but that's the problem maybe, because TikTok and Instagram now are not just about your audiences. They're also about reaching new people.
Yeah.
And it kind of sucks that if you own, I don't know, a company like Tala, people are going to think you're just a creator making an ad about it, but you're actually the owner and you're passionate about it in a way beyond, not saying that the creators aren't passionate about it, but it's a different thing. And I don't know. It means like, for example, I invest in, for example, this company Dashwater. I love it. I have it in my house every day.
Am I now going to put a hashtag ad on this video?
Well, yeah, if this happens to go into a piece of content that I'm involved in, you might have to, yeah. And then the other thing is, what about when we promote this podcast, like from Instagram, do we technically have to say hashtag ad if they don't know it's our podcast?
I don't know. That's the thing. I don't know. It fries my brain.
It's crazy. And in Germany, it got to the point, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe someone from Germany tell me if I'm wrong. But apparently it got to the point there that if you promote another creator because you're technically a business, you own a business, right?
Yeah.
I would have to say hashtag ad because maybe you've given me maybe you bought me lunch.
So like if we announce a new signing to MVE, do I have to...
You would technically have to say hashtag ad unless they knew that you own the company for sure. So if you made a TikTok, you would have to say hashtag ad.
That just makes... That then looks ridiculous. Yeah. Like, welcome to the company. By the way, hashtag ad.
Yeah.
It makes it then look the creator has paid me to put that on my Instagram.
And it's kind of embarrassing. I'm almost like if my friends saw me doing that, they'd be like, "What on earth are you?" So that's what I'm getting at. I'm not getting at the small stuff. I'm getting at that stuff.
But then also, you could go the other way. I just put hashtag ad on everything, and everyone thinks, "Man, you're getting breaded." Well, like this. How is Casper working with Scrabble? And the next minute he's working with Dash. Like he must be. Well, that is the thing. Tons of money.
Sometimes when you go away on a holiday, say you go like somewhere really nice, and it's like maybe it's a gifted holiday. It's kind of cooler to say ad.
Just say ad. No, but you have to say ad gifted.
You don't. I think you can get away with just hashtag ad. Ad is the best thing you can do.
Yeah, you can't just do gifted.
Exactly.
You have to do ad gifted, right?
Exactly. And then the other thing is, if I was Amber before she gets married to me, I would use ad on everything because her initials are AD. And so she could sign everything off AD.
She's an ad.
And then
is that what you used to do? Like a little sneaky.
No, I never did that. But...
Do you know what? I remember going like on my old. There's a time in YouTube where the rules got updated and all this kind of stuff, and we were told about them. And like I sort of went the other way. I'm like, look, if you've got to put ad on stuff, I'm going to put ad on stuff. And there's a few thumbnails. You might not be able to find them now, but like on my channel, I think it's one where I leaf blowered your room. That was a brand deal with HP.
But was it the whole video was the brand deal or was it?
It was dedicated, I think. Okay. But I put ad so big in the thumbnail that it kind of took up like a good like half of that thumbnail.
Yeah. And
it still did pretty well.
Well, you were on fire. You were on fire. It was a good time. I mean, yeah, this whole thing's really... And let us know if you wanted us to talk about more behind-the-scenes stuff in the podcast.
Or more Black Gang Chine. It's up to you. Like... I've got so much more I could talk about that place, but I'll say it for another day. Go and watch the vlog. Actually, a lot of you did watch that vlog. It did well, that vlog. I mean, I think it's because it
had Zoe in it and it wasn't a podcast.
But it wasn't. But also, it's because we did a 3-way collab. We all spoke and we all gave each other our links, like old days.
Really?
Yeah, and we all posted at the exact same time, 7 p.m.
Wow.
And we had each other's links in the bottom, and it felt so nice. It was like old school YouTube, and people going, "Stoke Sundays are back." And
wow.
I tell you what, gave me goosebumps in my ball sack. Yeah.
Good.
I don't want to be the one to bring up planes in another podcast.
Come on.
No.
Come on. What are we talking about?
Well, we've not... Did we speak about it in the last podcast? I don't think we did. We had a week off.
Are we talking about turbulence?
We missed the big turbulence chat. We're a bit late to it now, but...
turbulence is always there, so I can talk about it all the times.
You're always jet setting, and I'm off on a plane very, very soon. And
which plane?
This is the thing. I'm flying with Singapore Airlines, which
you know what?
Which may I point out? Apparently, is voted one of the best airlines in the whole world.
You know what? I'm the kind of guy who believes lightning doesn't strike twice.
That's good.
So, in the same place, it does strike twice. But I think Singapore is a great airline. The problem with the Singapore airline thing is the route you're taking rather than the airline itself. And I think there's a section, because I was speaking to an air hostess recently.
Yeah. Also, for those that don't know, we're talking about, if you haven't watched the news, they had a really bad turbulence out of nowhere on a Singapore Airlines flight, and the plane dropped X amount of feet, and people got injured.
A man had a heart attack.
A gentleman had a heart attack and passed away, unfortunately. So I'm pretty scared. I'm not gonna lie. I'm pretty scared.
Yeah, I mean, and also I think, if I'm not mistaken, it wasn't one of those times where it was like bad turbulence and then like everyone was freaking out and then it got worse. The problem was it happened out of nowhere, so no one was written. Well, some people weren't wearing their seatbelts.
Yeah.
And so basically, I think going forward, the advice everyone's giving is when you can, wear a seatbelt, because you don't know when it's going to drop.
But I do that anyway, because do you know what I do? I wear a seatbelt, but I loosen it so it's on the biggest setting. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do that
then
too.
That would still stop you, but then also you feel free.
You might get a bit of a tummy ache.
No, you...
Yeah,
but I'd rather a tummy ache than broken face.
But you know what? Some of the some people are coming up with ways to kind of combat this, because this turbulence is really hard to pick up apparently.
Yeah.
And so they're saying one way is obviously to have loads of communication between planes flying on the same route, which is kind of what they do already, but they just want to improve that. And the other way is to have a drone flying in front of each plane.
Oh my God,
so
no.
Imagine a drone.
No.
I think that would be pretty cool.
That's going to get sucked into the...
No, it would be like 2 kilometers ahead.
What, so there's someone sat on the plane with the controller?
No, it'd be an automatic drone that basically flies ahead of every plane that is the first plane flying that route for that day. And so it works, and then everyone follows that same route.
But what if the pocket or like the turbulence happens, like creeps in?
Yeah, I don't know, but apparently this is the kind of a thing they can do. And apparently turbulence is just getting worse and worse because of climate change.
Really? You think it's generally getting worse?
It is. Climate change is leading to more turbulence. I don't know how turbulence is created, but clearer turbulence apparently has like doubled or something since like the 1400s.
So we think
since 1914.
So you think putting a drone in front of a plane traveling at what, 300 and something miles an hour, 500 miles an hour? Yeah. I think I'm thinking of like DJI Mavic 3, do you know what I mean, with the camera on.
Cool. The problem is it's probably too expensive to do, and we should probably just figure out how to actually save the world rather than just trying to come up with ways to
message Richard Branson. See if he's because he's not short of a few quid, is he?
Let me ask him.
See if he you're mates with him. See what he's doing. Drone sounds dangerous to me, but then I'm thinking of a drone with we wouldn't have a camera on, would it either?
No, so this is like basically a drone flying so far ahead of you would never know it was there. But you're flying to Australia?
Yeah.
And why are you going Singapore Airlines? How does that work? Do you go to Singapore on the way?
Yes.
Okay, are you going to stop off at the airport?
Changi Airport.
Are you going to actually go outside and there's a really cool mall in the airport, basically, that's attached?
But is it outside?
No, it's basically attached to the airport. It's like an indoor kind of thing.
Oh, I don't know.
So you have to go outside the terminal.
Yeah.
If you can really do it, or do you not have time?
I think we've got like 4 hours.
Dude,
maybe?
100%. It's the sickest place. Amber and I went there. There's like this huge waterfall, amazing food.
Oh.
There's a DJI store.
Right, okay.
Where it's just DJI shit.
Well, the thing is, I remember when I first went to Australia, we stopped in Singapore, spent a few days there, and everyone was like, the airport in Singapore, this is when I was a Thatcher. I'd never really left Europe before in my life. And they were like, Singapore airport. I was like, they're like, where are you going? I was like, I'm going to Australia, New Zealand, Thailand, Singapore. They're like, oh my, Singapore airport.
Yeah.
Singapore airport
but you
is
went.
Amazing. Went there, and we must have just went to the wrong bit of the airport.
That's what happened to me as well. So basically, you're in the airport. What they're talking about is this mall that's attached. What's it called, Amber? Changi.
Yeah, because the thing is, I'm quite boring at airports. I'm very much like, nope, we'll stay here.
No, I promise you, this is worth it.
We'll stay in the lounge, and we cannot. I'm there looking at the board. Do you know what I mean?
No, I am too. I am too. I promise you, I am. But it's worth doing.
Because I've heard of the rainforest inside the airport. Yeah. Is that where it is?
Yeah, and there's like this tree area you can climb, and there's like these nets. There's
Really?
trampolines.
So you can get rid of your deep vein thrombosis, start moving your limbs about and getting
100%. No, you got to do it. And Diane she'd have a field day.
Yeah.
She'd be going all over that.
I should love it. Okay, well, if anyone works in that airport, if you see us, please come over and direct us to that place. Is it quite obvious to get there?
It's just ask them for it. They'll know what you're talking about. Say, where's the
rainforest?
Where's the big old rainforest?
Okay, yeah. No, I'm excited. Thing is, I've always been against going to Australia in summertime because I don't want to miss out on the British summer to go and spend a winter
but we're
in
not
Australia.
having a summer, apparently. Have you heard this?
Oh, no, what?
Apparently, it's going to be the wettest summer since 1912.
But don't they say that every year? What do you know about crapshules?
Crapshules?
I watched this is going way back to like gut health and stuff again because gut health is still very, very popular.
What's capsule?
So I watched a documentary about gut health and all this kind of stuff, right? Because that's what we get up to. I can't remember what it's called. It's on Netflix. But there's a girl who has a very, very good... Girl hasn't got a great microbiome. Her gut's not great. Her boyfriend's gut is very, very good. So he poos...
In her mouth?
No, not in her mouth, okay. No. But they kind of... Essentially, but they do it the probably less gross way. He poos. They take his poo, his stool, scientists, they put it in a capsule. You know, you can buy like plain capsules. You can put
a capsule? I thought you were talking about something else.
No, but they're called crapshules. And
Why do you say crapshules?
Because it's like crap, but capsules.
Oh,
it's like a clever play on words.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
But then she, for her own gut health, she ingests and swallows his poo in a capsule.
Oh, and so she doesn't have to taste it.
Yes, and the capsule dissolves in her stomach, and then his poo mixes with her stomach and makes her gut better.
But isn't it like dangerous to eat shit?
This is the thing, yeah. So I'm like, how do they... But also, I want to know, how do they test that and go, do you know what? This is a bit of a wild one, but shall we try putting your poo inside you and see if that works? And they thought, yeah, okay, let's give it a go.
Is it working?
And it works. Some people do it.
How do they know it's working?
I don't know. But I was going to say, Amber, how would you feel if you had to swallow... Would you be able to swallow a Casper crapsule if you had to?
No, that's disgusting.
For your stomach? Like knowing that it's Casper's poo in a capsule.
If I was at home and Taylor Swift came to the house and took a shit in the toilet bowl and you were out, would you want me to save it or flush it away?
That's a good point, actually. That's a good question. I think it doesn't matter who it is. I wouldn't want to smell it. It would still make me... It doesn't matter who it is. I would still retch.
But if it was Taylor, would you want to come and just check it out? It's like Taylor Swift shat in the house.
I would do this, and then I'd have a look through the door and just do like that and go, whoa!
Maybe there's an app where we can get celebrities to take photos of their shit for people to see. And it can be... It's like an NFT where it's a shit just for you. It's a one of one.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Or like, isn't that essentially what some people do on OnlyFans anyway?
Probably.
Is it? I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I wonder if Taylor Swift would jump on board.
I wonder what it would look like. Should we try and guess what celebrities' poos would look like?
So yeah, I mean, we're not at the end of the podcast.
I know, but what would a Taylor Swift poo look like?
I think it would be really thin. Like almost like a piece of string. Like the spaghetti.
Do you think? Like a goldfish?
No.
You know, it like hangs up the goldfish behind for ages.
It's spaghetti, and then just and it keeps twirling until it's like almost like when you create a ice cream. You know, like those ice creams.
Yeah, Mr. Whippy.
Mr. Whippy's, but like a spaghetti version of that.
Really? Do you think?
Yeah.
See, I'd look at that and go, "That's not healthy. That's not well."
What do you think it would be like?
Sort of just like rabbit poo. Do you know what I mean? Like sort of just little round balls. I think.
Oh my god!
Like purposely, like almost like minty aero bubbles.
Have you ever thought of what Diane's looks like?
I don't need to think. I see it on a daily basis. Even when she's not there, they still creep back up again.
Is that
from
like
the
an
U-bend.
Australian thing where it's like, if it's yellow, let it mellow. If it's brown, don't even flush it down. Let it mellow as well.
Oh yeah, maybe. Yeah. Just because the thing is, they used to like dunnies out there, aren't they? It's like you leave it in the dunny.
Anyway, we're not. Should we be allowed to talk about shit when we're not at the end of the podcast?
Yeah, maybe not. But I do think that'd be fun, maybe to return to. Give us some more suggestions of celebrities, and we will tell you what their poo looks like. Cause we've met a few in our time. We might be able to actually tell you.
Do you think we might get sued for this as defamation?
Defecation of character.
Oh.
Defecation of character.
There we go. We have our title.
Oh my god, that was good from me. Crikey.
Jeez, I thought there was a pun there. I actually thought there was a pun there, but I didn't see it.
That would be ironic now if we do get sued by Taylor Swift for saying that she...
That would actually be awesome. Like, that would be a great head. Imagine it's like, oh, what have Joe and Casper been up to recently? They've got this podcast and they talk about shit on.
It would bring a load of traffic here and they go, hang on a minute, they haven't even got a proper setup. How has Taylor Swift found this? Do you reckon she looks at it? Do you reckon
I think she has AI scrolling for when people talk about her shit.
Do you reckon? Oh, God. Right.
So, yeah, this is going to come up automatically.
Maybe edit this out. But yeah, crapshoes, they're a thing. I've got this thing where I can't swallow tablets very well. Sometimes they get stuck in my throat.
Oh, of course.
And then I start to taste what they actually taste like.
Ooh.
And they're not nice. So if that happened to me, that'd be my, that would terrify me a little bit.
Have you ever eaten shit?
No, I haven't. No.
Okay, we'll just move on.
Yeah. I'm not even going to ask you if you have, because I'm scared of the outcome of the result of that question.
Okay, so basically,
have you ever heard about the cheese rolling competition in Gloucestershire?
in terms of rolling down a mountain.
There's a big hill in Gloucestershire, which is not too far away from where I grew up. I grew up like near Bath, which is next to Gloucestershire. Yeah. There's like an old, really, really old British tradition. There's an incredibly steep hill in Gloucestershire where they roll a cheese, like a giant wheel of cheese down, you know, the sort of one that Ollie eats like truffle pasta out of in Nobu.
100%.
They roll one of those, like a cheese wheel, down this hill, and everyone then sprints down the hill to try and chase and catch this cheese. Have you ever seen it before?
I've heard of something like this, but how do you win by stopping it, or what happens?
Let me show you. Just if you haven't seen it, you need to see how incredibly like dangerous this thing is. They try and ban it. They try and stop it. Look how steep that is. They're trying to chase the cheese. The cheese is already gone. No one's ever catched the cheese. I don't think. No one's ever caught the cheese. But look, broken limbs. But people come from all over the world.
So it's not about catching the cheese. It's a tradition just to basically run down a hill.
I feel like hundreds of years ago, it probably was about trying to catch the cheese. Because you think about like maybe it was like people. I don't know where it stems from. Maybe I should do some research. But like my prediction would be, it was somebody who was wealthy enough to have a cheese wheel just lying around. Thought, do you know what'd be funny? Let's try and make all the peasants chase this bit of food. It's like the olden day equivalent of putting a £10 note on a fishing line and then someone goes to pick it up and you wheel it away. Young people appear unaware of some much-loved British insults, which a poll suggests could all but disappear in the coming decades.
Okay, let me see if I know these.
So yeah, I'm going to test you to see if you know. Some of these are fake. Some of these, I've come up with a new list.
Okay.
Some of these are fake insults. Some of these are actual real.
So I have to say which ones are real and which ones are fake.
Tell me which ones are real, which ones are fake British insults. Okay. Starting off with numpty.
Real.
Correct. 22% of people are aware of that.
It's like stop being a numpty. I don't know what it means, but it's like you're being a numpty.
Oh no, sorry. 22% of people didn't know that was an insult. Numpty.
No, it's like, yes, you're a numpty. I don't know what it means.
I feel like you would have heard numpty.
Like, it's like stop being a numpty. Something you would say. A git. Yeah, I know. Git's real.
Git is real. Interestingly, 26% of people didn't. Oh yeah, that makes sense. 26% of people didn't know git was an insult.
What is a git?
So more people know what a numpty is than a git. I don't know what git is. I feel like some of these probably stem back to really, really old times. Well, obviously they do, but scallywag.
Real.
Obviously real. Let's go with plonker.
Real.
Yeah? Sure?
Unless you made it up because you always say it. It's real in my mind. You said
basically you're calling me old. That is very much a Joe Sugg word, isn't it? Plonker. Correct. 25% of people didn't know that was a real word.
I feel like I know all of these words from just living with you at one point in my life.
Toss pot.
Fake.
You going fake? Incorrect.
What?
Toss pot was real. 36% of the British public, the younger generation, were unaware of that word.
Have you used that word?
Yeah, a few times. But I stopped using it because I felt like it was quite offensive. I thought it was quite offensive. But maybe it's not. I don't know. We'll find out on this podcast. Let me know if I've offended anyone with that.
Well, the Sky News put these in.
Cad.
Fake.
Real.
What?
Cad. Calling someone a cad.
What is that?
I have no idea. It's like they've mispronounced the word cat. But 47% of people were unaware of that word. You're showing your age. You're making yourself look young.
I'm Gen X. Or Z.
Blighter.
Real.
Correct. 54% of people, though, didn't know what that was. Ninny.
Real.
Correct.
I feel like these are all real. You just try to trick me.
Okay. Bampot.
Fake.
Real. 60%.
You're trying to trick me. They're all real.
You're such a bampot, Casper.
What is a bampot?
Bampot. And lastly, lummox.
Real.
Correct. They're all real.
They're all real.
They're all real.
I picked that up after
lummox
a while.
is apparently the most uncommon of the insults.
Were you too
60
lazy to come up with fake ones?
Yeah, I just couldn't be bothered. Because it's actually hard. Try and come up now with an insult. Try and come up with a word now to insult me.
Wet paint.
That's already one.
Is that an insult?
I think
You're
so.
wet paint.
Yeah, wet wipe, wet paint. Like a new one, like a lummox.
You're jengering me. You're jengering me, man.
Oh, you're such a. Finish the sentence. Oh, you're such a.
You're such a frolic.
Frolic. There you go. That could be one.
You're such a frolic.
Frolic. It sounds like.
A mixture between bollock and frolic.
Yeah, frolic.
You're a frolic.
No, but frolic is a word.
No, okay.
Frolic
You're
is
such a frolic.
Frolic, yeah.
You're a refusing rear.
A rear is a bird.
You're a refusing Okay, I'm done.
Splink doink. I think splink doink.
By the way, Joe, I have a present for you. For old time's sake.
Oh, thanks, Casper.
So when Joe and I used to live together, we used to drink this stuff basically once a week, and we created this big shrine, which was very embarrassing.
Why are you not letting go of it? Is it actually my gift or not?
Amber says it's a bit.
Why does it say mini bars on it? Spelt wrong.
I stole it from a minibar.
It's spelled MINIBARES.
Maybe that's the Spanish spelling.
Way of spelling it, really?
Mini bars.
Then it's British.
From Mexico.
Thank you, I appreciate it. Guys, thank you for... I'm going to actually hide this because it looks naughty. Thanks for listening to the podcast.
Oh shit, that was #gifted from the...
#gifted from
the place I was staying.
Stellenbosch, what was it?
No, it was... no,
Rondebosch.
From Cancun.
Cancun. Gifted from Cancun. Next week, we've got our very first guest, hopefully.
Big.
Yeah, it's very exciting. Make sure you're listening to it.
It's a big one, and we were lucky to secure him. He was flying between F1 and I think he went somewhere else tonight. So we're very lucky we had him.
We managed to get him on lock.
We'll see you soon.
Bye.
Bye.